Welcome back. This is Freddie with Leviathan Scuba.com. For this moment, this is our final video in our travel series with Rich Travels, Richard Woulfe from Rich Travels, travel broker extraordinaire. We've had a really good series here. We've answered some tough questions, and it's nice because I now have a place to send people for the answer to most of their questions. Yeah, because we get them all the time.
We get them all the time. We've been helpful, and I would invite anybody if they've got questions that they maybe didn't get an answer to.
Yeah, reach out.
You or send a reach out.
Or reach out to
the topic they'd like to have covered. I'd be happy to come back and join again.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll do that again. I know we're going to travel again. I enjoy the times when we go.
Because we just like travel so much.
Oh yeah, and we do. We go to fun places, don't we? Where's this one?
All right, so that's one of my favorite dive sites in the world, and that's at the Boiler in Socorro, only reached by liveaboard. But that is a pelagic manta coming in for a fly-through, and it's this sort of shallow area in Socorro where these pelagic mantas come in.
Are they there common, like year-round?
You know, of course, it's the ocean, so there's generally no guarantee that you're going to have it, but I've been there several times, and there have always been at least 2, sometimes 3 or 4.
Right. And where's this one here?
That actually is in the Philippines, in Dumaguete, just off of one of the resorts. And again, for me, one of the greatest joys and thrills of travel is running in and meeting people off of the dives. I had just come off of a dive, and those kids were playing around in the water.
The local wildlife.
Yes, the local wildlife. Okay. Philippine people, very friendly people.
So the title for this one, we've kind of saved some of the best for last, really, is locations. This is all about, we had a ton of questions. I tried to categorize them in these different sections, which wasn't easy all the time. But, you know, this one has to do with the actual locations around the world that we have opportunities to dive. And I know I've asked you numerous ways, but this one is not the location or the destination, but where's your actual favorite site, the actual dive site itself?
Well, as I mentioned, Raja Ampat is one of my favorite destinations. And then within Raja Ampat, there is a dive site inside the Mosul Eco Park Marine Protected Area called Magic Mountain. And it is a site that has frequent visits from pelagic and reef mantas. It has sharks occasionally, massive turtles, as we discussed, small stuff, critters, soft corals, hard corals. It is worth every hour that it takes to get out there.
I actually have some amazing footage from Magic Mountain. 20 minutes of a giant manta just swimming right next to me the whole time. I didn't have to chase it or follow it or anything. It stayed right with me.
Yeah, and I might add, it's a marine protected area that's actually being enforced. So I've been going there for the past 12 years, and it seems to me like every time I go back as a result of it being a marine protected area, the biomass, the quantity of marine life in the water is increasing. You feel that energy.
And that surprises the heck out of me, and I'm not going to get negative, but it's not too far from some major countries that are terrible poachers of underwater animals. How can it be so darn close? It must be because they actually enforce it.
They do enforce it. There's a whole group of folks that have gotten together over there along with the liveaboards and the people, and it's the real deal. And I would just encourage people, support that area, get some information about it, because around the world there's very few of those, and supported by tourism and diving, that gives a higher probability that the pressure on the shark finning and the fishing and everything they'll stay away from those areas.
Yeah. Have you ever dove the Blue Corner in Palau?
I have. It's top 10 for sure. Just extraordinary. I mean, I've had the unicorn fish running away from the sharks. I've counted on some dives there. I lose count like 40, 50, 60, 70 sharks just patrolling back and forth. Ripping current, though. I don't know what your experience has been there. Go definitely prepared with a reef hook.
With a reef hook, yeah.
And prepared to maybe do a deep water diver course and have some good log dives, because it requires you to get down and to be locked in with a reef hook.
Yeah, connected to a rock. Fun story I have with that is one of the things I try to do to protect our divers on a trip is I like never to duplicate the same dive location, because I don't want to bore anybody. Mm-hmm. But when I went there, they looked at me funny and they said, "Are you sure?" Mm-hmm. And I said, "Why?" And they said, "Well, because we dived the Blue Corner." And I'm like, what's a blue corner? And once we dove it, the first one was by accident. We started over there by the big caverns, and we drifted to the blue corner.
Awesome.
And most people ran out of air, and there was like 5 or 6 of us still there. And when I saw all the stuff, when we surfaced, I said, they're never going to believe us. They're going to think we're messing with them when we told them what we just saw.
That's right.
And they're never going to believe us. And then I told them, we got to do that one again.
Yes, world class.
And we ended up doing it 3 times on a 2-week trip, and each dive was different.
Fantastic.
We did. We had the 200 plus sharks in the column of water holding perfectly still. You're connected to the reef or on a rock on the surface with your reef hook. You're a human kite sitting there, and they're just next to you. Oh, it was
Cool
it was
stuff.
amazing. Yeah, it was very, very, very good. Okay, what would you say the most exotic destination is? Not necessarily for diving, but a little more removed, maybe exotic.
I'd have to say Papua New Guinea. That pops into my mind. Papua New Guinea is its own individual country north of Australia, and then that Raja Ampat area would be just to the east of that, and it just has phenomenal diving, but it's got such a history and tribes and being able to go and visit tribes, and it's a wild destination.
You haven't taken me there yet.
Have not been there. It's there's so many places to go.
Right. That's got to be on our bucket list.
The only thing about Papua, though, for me, is there are 160 different languages. So it does require some attention to planning and being there. And it is also a destination. We're seeing improvements around the world. There also is, you do have to take malaria prophylactic when you go to Papua New Guinea. But I'm very open-minded to still going there because some of the best dive sites in the world are in that region.
So when we were prepping for this and I asked this next question, Richard was concerned about sounding negative, but sometimes we have to ask the questions, right, to try to protect you. I tell you about gear that is bad, in my opinion. So I'm going to ask the question, and let's just see. How about the worst dive location, not site, the worst? There's got to be some bad ones for a reason.
Okay, so I'm not going to pick on the country, and I'm not going to pick on the state.
Okay.
But I think one of the worst dive sites and places I've ever been was where I did my open water training at a place called Pearl Lake. And I won't reveal the state, but it's a quarry, and I could not see my hand in front of my face. I mean, they were trying to do our signals and everything. I'm like, I had needed a microscope to do it.
Yeah.
So that's probably the worst. The worst and the best, however, is I'm originally from Chicago, and I would have to say when I did a dive right off of the city skyline, we went down. It got very cold and dark and horrible visibility. But coming up from the end of the dive, the best highlight of the dive was coming up and having the entire Chicago skyline at the end.
That
of the
would be
dive.
cool.
So that's the worst dive, and then the best was it was over, and we had that incredibly gorgeous view. And for most divers that have been diving in cold water, they know how good it feels when you're at 45 feet, and you know this too, and you have those thermoclines, but then you come up, and the 50 or 55 degree water feels like it's a bathtub, like it's 80 degrees.
Right,
I love that feeling.
So don't say Raja Ampat on this. We know that's your favorite dive site, right? Your dive location there. But if you could, and this could be a country, this could be a location, and it has everything to do with the total experience from land and underwater and all that. If you could go, if you were limited to only one place for the rest of your life, where would that be?
Wow. Now that one we didn't rehearse. So let me get it clear. Let me repeat the question. So a destination, I can't go anywhere else, only to that destination.
Right, and it's not just for the diving, so it's not like a dive site. Okay. Just one location, that's it. From the rest of your life, you can only go back to one location. Yeah. Where's that going to be?
I would have to say for me, for now, I mean, you asked that question, I would have to say the Philippines. Because of the tremendous value, because there's 7,000 plus islands, many of which are uninhabited, but now they're discovering more, so there's a lot to discover there. The top side is beautiful. You know, 7,000 islands, I've been there 50 plus times, but living there or going back and only being able to go to that destination, that would take care of me for the rest of my journey on this earth.
Okay, good answer. I love the Philippines. I really do. It's a little bit undiscovered by a lot of divers, and I'm not sure why.
Well, we also encourage people, because of the relative ease compared to other Southeast Asia destinations, it is one of the easier places to get to because there are nonstop flights from Toronto, New York, Los Angeles and San Francisco. So you can fly nonstop right into the Philippines.
And
Whereas
it's an
other destinations require a stop and going on to those areas.
And it's an
English
affordable.
is widely
Yeah.
spoken.
Yeah.
Very, very friendly people. Again, I think sometimes the perception of the Philippines doesn't necessarily paint the picture of the actual experience on the ground. So I think sometimes people think it's overcrowded. Oh, is it safe? Things like that. So be careful about media reporting to people and dig a little bit deeper.
Well, there's a huge difference from a 10 million people influx into Manila and Kasai village in northern, Cebu or something like that, where there's not very many people and the diving in the water's crystal clear.
7,000 islands.
7,000
so if it was in a place
islands.
I could only go to, that would be the place I'd go.
Yeah, good answer. So, little twist on the same question. Where would be the place you'd most want to visit that you have not been to?
Yeah, for scuba diving?
Yes.
Okay, so believe it or not, I have a few. I like big animals, and I like getting in the water in places where there aren't a ton of divers. So one of the places that's at the top of my list to go and explore is the Azores, which is between the continental United States and Portugal. So it's actually off of the coast of Portugal. And I do have some friends that actually just went there, and the reports coming back were very good. So it's the Iceland and New Zealand of a decade or so ago in terms of new, wild. And then the other place I would like to go is in Brazil off of the coast. Forgive the pronunciation, but it's the Orange Islands, which I think is Noronha, the Islas Noronhas, which is right off of the coast of Recife, off of the coast of Brazil.
And what have you heard that makes that
Again,
so?
a lot of marine life in the water. It's been dived a fair amount, but not as much as other destinations around the world. And for me, I'm all about variety and something different. I get very excited about new places because, again, I go into the water with that mindset of, regardless of where I am, maybe with the exception of Pearl Lake, but I go with the mindset, I'm going to see one cool thing when I go into the water.
Right. So, as our final video, we're going to have a little bit of fun here. We've done it on a couple of the others where I have a word association where I'm going to say two different words and you give me your favorite of the two. It helps us get to know you a little bit better.
Awesome.
But in the dive world and the travel, it also tends to categorize, the locations
Simplicity,
and
yeah,
things like that. And so
Let's have
you
some
can
fun.
try it at home as well. So,
And this one's unrehearsed, I think, too, right?
yeah, we didn't get this far,
Mostly
right?
unrehearsed here. So I don't know. Let's see what we get here.
So, Cozumel or Hawaii?
Cozumel or Hawaii? Ooh. That is really, really tough because they're both so much different and they're, this is supposed to be a fire round, right?
Yeah.
I would
You
have
have
to
1
say,
second to answer.
I'd have to say Cozumel.
Okay. All right. Thailand or Philippines?
Ooh, you're killing me. You're living me here. I would have to say Thailand.
Palau or Indonesia?
Wow.
I know, I made it hard.
This is really so. All right, so Palau, Indonesia. I want to go to all of them.
Oh, it's cheating.
All of the above.
Cuba or Bonaire?
Cuba's got some great diving in the Gardens of the Queen. Bonaire's got great diving. Double trouble. I'll go to both.
Okay. You can't say that on every one of these. Atlantic or Pacific?
Oh, I'm a Pacific diver with all that coral triangle being in the Pacific and all the great corals. That one I can answer.
We've almost done a commercial for the Coral Triangle
But great
today,
diving
haven't
in
we?
places of the Atlantic too. And that's
Yeah.
where the Azores are.
Yeah. One of the bucket list dives I have is at the Azores, the one time a year when the tuna show up and the giant schools of, I think it's mackerel, and they feed. And the dolphins feed, and the tunas feed, and the sharks feed, all at the same
Cool
time.
stuff.
And there are boat trips that will take you out there. You can jump right in the middle of it and have these things swirling around you. I can't wait for that.
Awesome.
I can't wait to do that.
Let's go.
Yeah. Caribbean or Mediterranean?
I have to say Caribbean.
Caribbean. Okay, now is the quiz. You did very well on the other side
Okay.
when we did on the other video, when we did the quiz where you have to come up with the right answer. These are tougher. And the first one might even be a trick question. Okay, what country is the largest island in the world?
Oh, that's not a trick question. Easy stuff. Now, most people are going to answer a continent. Australia. But I think the largest island in the world is Greenland.
You are absolutely correct, and I'm surprised you got it. I didn't get it. I said Australia, and I still don't understand the difference between an island and a continent, but Australia is not an island, and Greenland is. Okay, great answer. You know, I'm going to hire you for our travel from now on because you know your stuff.
I try.
Which country has the longest coastline in the world?
The longest coastline in the world. So
I got this one wrong too.
You know, there's so many countries with really, really long coastlines. It's not Canada, is it?
It is Canada.
It is Canada. I got it.
It is Canada. Wow, great.
Surprising answer for
Lucky
people,
guess. I
think,
saw it in your eyes.
Okay.
Okay. Which landlocked sea, which is 422 meters or 1,385 feet below sea level?
Below the Black Sea?
No. Give you another try.
The Bering Sea.
No. I think
The Dead Sea.
the Dead Sea, right? That's the clue.
Sea.
Below
Three
sea level.
Chances, three
Right.
answers, and the third one's correct.
And it is so salty there that you float right on top.
Yeah. Do people dive there?
No, I don't. Well, I can't say no. I don't think so. I've been there.
Check that out.
I've been there and got in the water. But so, how many islands does Australia have within its maritime borders? I'm not going to make you guess. I'm going to make it multiple choice on this one.
Oh boy. Okay.
Australia now, right? This isn't Philippines with 7,000. Do they have 82 islands, 822 islands, or 8,222 islands?
Wow. I had this in my 6th grade geography class. That was a long time ago. I'm going to go with 8,222, 8,222.
You are the luckiest guesser, and we had money on this. Dadgummit!
Next time, trip's on you.
Right.
It was just a guess. That one was a lucky guess.
Yeah.
Really. The others, obviously, I've had a little bit of experience. but
So
that
this
one
one's a
was-
tough one. It's not about islands. It's not about diving, although you can dive there.
Okay.
What country or which country has a unicorn as its national animal?
A unicorn is its national animal. Now this one might. That's a pretty tough one. Of course, people at home are like, "That's easy. That's easy." They know it.
If they're
Okay.
saying that, they have a pretty heavy accent.
Oh, you're giving me a clue now. It's not Switzerland, is it?
No.
No. Okay. I give up. What is it?
Scotland.
Oh, Scotland.
And if you look it up on Wikipedia, it says they actually believed that the animal was real at one time.
Really?
Yeah, and they made that their national animal.
And is it cousins with the Loch Ness Monster?
Maybe so.
Maybe.
They do have the strange animals. They're
That's
great.
right. They do. Beautiful place, though.
So we've had a little fun. If you haven't checked out the other videos, we answer a lot of your toughest travel questions, some of the fun ones. We've had a good time doing this series, and we will continue the travel series, but this is the portion where we conclude with Rich Travels for now. And, we will travel together. You will see Richard in our videos that we take on our trips, because quite often we get an opportunity to travel together. And now it sounds like we're going to the Azores, only he's paying, because he got all the questions right. So, so Richard, I want to say thank you for helping us out. It's been a pleasure, honestly, for
Yeah.
people to get to know you and for me
Thank
to.
you for having me.
Yeah, you've helped us out. It's been a good thing. I can direct people to answering their toughest travel questions, and maybe when people are bugging you with all the questions, just direct them to this video, and it would be, a good answer for a lot
More
of them.
than willing
So-
to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a lot of fun. So until our next adventure together, Rich Travels. Go to richtravels.com and check them out. And if you have any more questions for Richard, I think they can contact you through there, right?
Absolutely.
Through
Through the
richtravels.com,
website.
right? Right. So thanks for watching. I hope you got some benefit out of it. I hope you got some good answers to your questions. And if you want to catch our next videos, just hit that subscribe button down below. And always remember, like the videos. It's the only way we know that we're doing the right thing by you. All righty? Have fun. Happy travels. Take care. Elsa and I would like to thank you for watching this series. We hope you're enjoying it. That's why we do it, to try to help. If you have any ideas of other topics you'd love to see us shoot, we're happy to get to them just as soon as we possibly can. And you know how you can help us? If you hit that like button down below, then we know we're doing the right thing. And if you hit the subscribe button, you'll be notified when the next video comes out. Have a great day.